game day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Finally, it is upon us. LSU-Florida State. It is game day. Binged on a gigantic amount of football Saturday. Hopefully you did as well. Great day of games and a lot to unpack. Your boy had Florida beating Utah. So now look, there were some games that didn't exactly go our way yesterday. I had Oregon covering against Georgia. That didn't work out so hot. Had Notre Dame covering against Ohio State, which they did. But man, good day of football. Boy, Cincinnati gave Arkansas a run. Arkansas was able to hold on there at the end. All in all, a pretty good day of ball, man. Boy, NC State. If East Carolina had a kicker, NC State would have lost. Kid missed a PAT and a chip shot field goal. In a 21-20 game. Whew. So anyway, all right, y'all fire away. Bama rolls. A lot of the games delayed due to weather over the course of the day. So, and of course, it's LSU-Florida State. So y'all fire away. Let's get rolling here. Whatever you got. You know the drill. Facebook, like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash that like button. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe up to the Matt Scone YouTube channel. You know, we appreciate that greatly, as always. Kelly Root, good morning. Truax, Cassie Barris, what's up? Aaron Hornsby, Jason Lostness, what's going on? Hunter St. Cyr, what's going on, man? Greg Dubga, great day. One less day till basketball season, you moron. Brittany Delahousse, Bob Poole, Scott Greenbaum, good morning. Cassie said Florida looked good. Florida did look good. I picked Florida in that game, and the premise of my pick was I think we are grossly underestimating Anthony Richardson, and especially in Billy Napier's offense, where we saw what he did with quarterback from Baton Rouge. I'm blanking on his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But I'm blanking. Anyway, Florida's defense looked really good as well yesterday. Athletic, fast. Now you know why. All year what I've been saying, hey, it's hard to go win at Florida and Auburn. You got a reminder yesterday. Donovan Thibodeau, Black Goatee, what's going on? Steve Blanchard, Aaron Hornsby, Who Dat talking? What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me see. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And hang on one second. All right, there we go. All right, Cody Anderson. See, Kirk Taylor, Matt, what you do with yourself now that you don't have to pregame with T-Bob for 5 hours? Enjoy my days. Enjoy my days, yes. Yesterday was glorious to just kind of lounge around the house all day, not even have to work an LSU game, just lounge around the house and watch football and catch up on everything. Blaine Smith, Mike Lee, Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Luis Aleman, Jeff McKithen, morning, favorite day of the year. Samuel Merrifield, Matt, it's hilarious how other conferences pretend they're legit. The SEC keeps rolling on, racking up the natties. This holds true for baseball as well. Yeah, man, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that the SEC is the preeminent athletic conference. It doesn't mean other conferences aren't good at things. Anyway, Devin Steve, what's going on? Jason, what about that fourth corner with North Carolina and App State? Fourth quarter, I'm sure he means. Yeah, that was bizarre. That ended up 63-61. App State missed a 2-point conversion that would have tied it there at the end. But that would be old Gene Chizik his defense allowing 40 points. Incredible. In the fourth quarter to App State. Dalton, what's up? Blaine Smith, Craig Duga. Craig said, did you see Glenn Gilbo? on a Twitter tirade about LSU not hiring Napier, Comedy Gold. Not sure if he's an actual media member or a pro troll. Actually, yeah, I did. I actually replied or quote tweeted Glenn's tweets to point out his factual inaccuracies. And there were several media members who texted me grateful for my doing so. Daniel Sinet's Brock Blanchard, woo, finally game day. I had Oregon with the points also. Yeah, so I had a, let's see. So I had on Thursday, we're 4-1 with Otters picks. Friday, I was 2-0. Had Indiana TCU. Yesterday, lost with Oregon. Won with Notre Dame in the points. Won with Florida. Won with Washington State. What else did I play yesterday? I played some of Phil Steele's picks, which I think split maybe 2-2. So, but mostly a good day. Will Myers, morning, Matt. Any thoughts on an over/under play for LSU-Florida State? Look, early in the season, I tend to lean defense. I mean, look at Oregon. Look at Oregon. Look at Ohio State, Notre Dame last night. Look at Florida, Utah. So I tend to lean defense. So I would maybe lean toward the under, but I actually think that Vegas has this one right. LSU, it's bumped up to 3.5, and the total's at 51, which is I think just about right. So, I think it's about right. I'm not gonna make a play on this game. I don't have a strong feeling on the game toward making a play given the number. Evan Kirkwood, biggest advantage for LSU, receivers. LSU's receivers are the biggest advantage that they have in this game and likely will have in many games that they play this year. They're just very talented on the outside. Ron Wisnant, what's going on? Jeremy, SEC represented yesterday. Hunter, Cam Rising couldn't stop throwing in the dirt. A lot of that had to do with LSU's coverage, man, or Florida's coverage, man. They were fast, physical, aggressive, blanketing. They're talking about LSU right now. Trevor Maddich with a beard. All right. Trivia Carter, what's going on? Lil Height, what's going on? Migo Tez, can you go ahead and address that we should have hired Napier idiots and Marcus Freeman as trash fans? Okay, so I liked Billy Napier a lot. I would have been totally fine with LSU hiring Billy Napier. I think LSU made a great hire. Billy Napier wanted the LSU job. He stumped for the LSU job. That's why he came on radio shows like mine to stump for the job. He wanted very much the LSU job. He interviewed for Florida because LSU had not even interviewed him. This was a Tuesday, as I recall, when Napier's representatives made one final call to LSU to say, hey, the Florida thing's about to happen. Are you sure you don't want to talk to our guy? And LSU's representatives told Napier's representatives he should take that job, meaning Florida. So Napier very much wanted the LSU job. It ain't like Florida's a bad consolation prize. It's a freaking phenomenal job. So Florida got a really good coach. LSU got a really good coach. Okay. And then people saying Marcus Freeman's trash. I'm not going to tell you Marcus Freeman's trash. I think their defense played really well yesterday. Notre Dame's did against in a very tough environment. I would look more to the people that say Brian Kelly was holding back Tommy Rees and say, well, if Brian Kelly was holding back Tommy Rees, then how do you explain that offensive performance for Notre Dame yesterday? Not saying that it's easy to go into the horseshoe and generate offense against Ohio State. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that that's an easy task or anything of the sort. I'm just saying if you were faulting Brian Kelly for holding back Tommy Rees and Notre Dame put up 253 yards of total offense, 177 passing, 76 rushing, that ain't exactly it. Cody and Alan Clark, any thoughts on Georgia? dominant. They've definitely reached that status like Alabama, where they just rinse and repeat. To lose 15 players for the draft and to look that dominant was incredible. Craig, wonder how sauce T-Bob will be tonight. Guessing LSU floral shirt, 4 buttons unbuttoned with chest cabbage on full display. Not a bad guess. Jason Austin, Hong Tam win. ECU kicker cried all night last night, no doubt. That's sad. That sucks, man. Kurt, can't give you all the money Olive and Twist are given, but y'all can come do whiskey and wine at my new house. Patio is amazing. Yeah, so, by the way, whiskey and wine is at Don Juan Cigar Bar. But congrats on the new house, Kurt. Fired up for you, man. Elliot Doge, State of Football Apparel. Where can someone get their hands on it? I don't think you can, Elliot. I think that's in-house. Like, that's just the team-issued gear. Jason Aguilar, morning, Scone. Alabama, -42, easy money. You know, the thing about Alabama -42 is Nick Saban actually, throughout his time at Alabama, has a losing record against the spread when the spread is that high, because he doesn't want to pound people into oblivion and usually rest starters in the second half and tries not to run up the score. So I don't play those Bama games when they're playing the non-conference opponents and the spreads get obnoxious, because they generally like I'm telling you, like, he has a losing record against the spread whenever it gets like above 35 or something. Let's see. Jason Napier got a lucky win. DB was just in the right spot. Jason, that might be the dumbest thing you've ever posted here. I think you're way too smart to know that. Like, DBs don't just happen to be in the right spot. You are defensively set up, and that was coming out of a timeout as well, to be in the right spot, given what you assume they're going to do. That's the type of coverage you play. It's where you practice goal line defense. Come on, man. Like, don't be that guy. Like, don't be that guy. Like, Florida was really, really impressive yesterday. Defensively, Anthony Richardson looked really good. Like, they ran the ball that against a top 10 team that had everybody back from a team that won the Pac-12 and went to the Rose Bowl. Like, don't be that guy trying to poo-poo a team's win. Like, come on. Like, you can acknowledge other people are good. Trivia Carter, Donovan Thibodeau, good morning. SEC 13-0 week 1, no pressure tonight. Dale Broussard, I guess Notre Dame has more problems than Brian Kelly. Alex Barnes, finally, Tiger football has come back to its people. Brad David, is it true Napier was originally interested in Florida more than LSU? That is factually inaccurate. Talked about it just a bit ago, but I know Glenn tweeted that last night, and I'm telling you, Glenn is wrong. Like, he is factually inaccurate, and that's why he would even tweet that last night after that game is just stupid. It's stupid. I'm not saying Glenn's stupid, but that's a stupid thing to do. Like, that's intentionally trying to prod people, and it's not a good way to. It's just not a good way to do your job. Eddie Burgard, good morning. Tigers by 1 million. All right, let's see. Tucker Oliver, morning, Matt. Just as you said, Florida's going to be a problem. Winning at Florida or at Auburn is never easy. Just like winning in Baton Rouge is never easy. Or it shouldn't ever be easy. So, yeah, I mean, going on the road and trying to win those games will be tough. Ultimate Warrior, Aaron Hornsby, the pit lit already, all right. Migo Tez, Cincinnati killed themselves with penalties. They had a chance to win that game. Maybe, yeah, certainly could have won that game. That may be a takeaway. Like, I didn't think Arkansas was as good as the hype they've been getting, and considering all the turnover at Cincinnati, where you lose that elite corner tandem, your quarterback, your best receiver, your offensive coordinator, Dan Brock's now at LSU, and to go on the road against an Arkansas team that returns darn near everybody except Traylon Burks, and to really have had a shot to win that game, I think. Yeah, man, I think we're overhyping Arkansas this year. BJ Spage, 504. It was Brian Kelly's fault Notre Dame lost because it's not a talent issue. Taz, not sure the Saints use this route, but I would at least talk to the Bears about Roquan for CJ in a second-round pick. Okay. Taz, I love you, bro. We're gonna Saints don't play today. You know I'm a Who Dat for life. probably going to be mostly LSU. We got 300 people watching on YouTube and 175 watching on. We got 475 people, almost 500 people watching right now, and everybody's interested in LSU game day. So I'm gonna keep it there, all right? I love you though, man. We will get to our who dats for sure. Derek Cropper, Elite Goods, Jason H, Wilson Silv. Does Brian Kelly record against top teams concern? Like, does Brian Kelly's record against top teams concern you? No, what I would say more so, Wilson, is Brian Kelly, his record as a favorite, like the last 40 games at Notre Dame. I think y'all saw it was like 40-1 or something, 41-1 or something like that. So mostly it's when you have the opportunity. Yeah, they just showed that Florida interception again. If you think that was luck, Jesus. Cam Rising threw into double coverage. Kid went down and made an awesome play. Anyway. All right. Trivia. I knew Utah was going to lose when I saw the kid throw up. Yeah, man, Utah had a player throw up early, like in the first quarter of that game. It's different, bro. Jeff, what's good, my dude? Cody Brunet. I thought Notre Dame got rid of Kelly so they wouldn't lose any more big games. Elite Goods. Bless up. Marlon Curvin, good morning. Edward Frazier, who do you think gets the start today? Edward, look, man, this is not going to be, should not be a surprise. I've literally said this since Jaden Daniels transferred. I've been consistent. I was the only one saying it whenever he transferred in all along that I thought Jaden Daniels was going to be the starter. Even before Miles transferred out, when everybody was all on the Miles train, told you they would not have gone and gotten Jaden Daniels if they didn't intend to play him, if they didn't feel like they needed him. And he also has a skill set that they want. You know, on Friday I made this prediction that I thought Jaden Daniels would be LSU's leading rusher in the game as well. If y'all watched the Florida game last night, that was my reasoning why. I said there's going to be a play where it's broken down and Daniels just scrambles and rips off a 45-yard run. It's not necessarily going to be rushing attempts, but because he's going to rip off a long one on a busted play. This is what happened last night with Florida. Anthony Richardson ran for 106 yards, but he had the 45-yard touchdown run around left end. Montreal Johnson had 75 yards, averaged 6 yards a carry. He was great, among their backs, but Anthony Richardson was the leading rusher because he ripped off a long one. I think that's going to happen tonight with LSU. Dane Pritchard, thoughts on Arkansas, wasn't impressed. Yeah, I wasn't impressed either. I think, let me say this. I think KJ Jefferson's a really good player. And the thing that concerns you is as big as he is in short yardage situations, it's almost like Tebow-esque, where they'll just snap it to him in the single wing and he'll be patient, wait for a crease. And then when you're that big and, when you're 250 pounds and, that explosive, you just explode through a hole, you're going to fall forward. That was the frustrating thing about Tebow back in the day was it's like if he needed a yard, he was going to get you 2. If he needed 3, he was going to get you 4. And Jefferson kind of feels like that right now. I'm not saying he's Tim Tebow. I'm just saying in short yardage situations. Sean Berthelot put a little wager on Stetson Bennett to win the Heisman plus 2,500. I mean, as good as they are, it could always come down to the quarterback of the best team. I mean, it definitely could. Ben Boudreaux, good morning. Do you think LSU is going to blow out the Noles? I do not. I think you're talking about a game in the 20s that is very close. I picked LSU 27-23 in the ball game. So, I think Vegas has this one right as far as the total and the spread. I think they are right on it. Jeremy Wayne Free, I'm sure you block it out. I know it's just hot Twitter, but when did Arkansas and Notre Dame fans get all this confidence to troll and trash talk about LSU? Yes, Arkansas is trying to trash talk LSU. I don't know. Well, you understand Notre Dame's. I mean, Notre Dame's thing is that it's the jilted lover syndrome. It's their coach left them, and so now they are trying to point out every shortcoming that LSU might have. But I get it from Notre Dame. Like, I understand, like, Notre Dame didn't care at all about LSU until their coach left for LSU. That's the old girlfriend trashing the new girlfriend to her friends. Like that's what Notre Dame is right now. As far as Arkansas, that it's always perplexed me with Arkansas because I guess Arkansas when they came into the league, and this isn't a new take or anything. When Arkansas came into the league, we all know they got LSU got saddled with Arkansas with the permanent opponent, and so Arkansas didn't really have a rival, and so it was like when a new kid comes to school and they're like, "All right, hey Jack, look, Billy's new at school. You're gonna help him," and so then even though Jack's been there forever, he's got to help Billy, or whatever, and walk around. And anyway, that's all it was. So I think LSU fans have always resented that Friday after Thanksgiving game, but Arkansas fans glued themselves to it and always looked at LSU as a rival in that respect. So there's way more give a darn from the Arkansas side about LSU than there's LSU about Arkansas. The thing I will say is, if you are LSU, you don't have to necessarily think that that's a rivalry or care or anything to that degree, but you had better care about the game from a competitive standpoint because you can't be losing to Arkansas. Like losing 16-13 in overtime at home last year to that team is unacceptable. So if you're going to be what you think you are as a program and what your goals are every year, you got to beat the Mississippi schools and you got to beat Arkansas. That's inarguable. So you got to care to that degree. All right, y'all. YouTube, smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. 348 watching, which is just awesome. But only 62 likes. Please let's get the likes up if we could. As always, shout out to Brock, the Batters Orthopedic Clinic, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Need a roof, give us a shout, HUDCO. Reminder, Eagle 98.1 game day today. T-Bob and I will be down in New Orleans at Rouse's on Barone from 1 to 3. Musso and Hanny hosting game day this year, so you can catch those guys on Eagle, or if you're in New Orleans, come hang out with us. Rouse's on Barone, and then we're jetting back here, T-Bob and I, to watch the game, and then we'll be at Don Juan for whiskey and wine. So we'll hope to see a bunch of y'all there. By the way, if you need a roof inspection, I got HUDCO pinned in the comments. Just click the link. There's a form right on the homepage. Just fill out the form on the homepage. We'll be in touch with you. Spurge, what's up? Who impressed you most yesterday? Georgia. How could it be anyone other than Georgia? They were, I thought Georgia would win that game, but you lose 15 starters, 8 on your defense, 5 first-rounders, and you just blow the doors off of Oregon. Oregon may not be any good. Dan Lanning's a first-time head coach. I understand they've had some players leaving the transfer portal. I get all that stuff. But that was – Georgia scored on their first 7 possessions of the game. It was just – it was not competitive. You were talking about two teams playing very different games. That was like what you would expect. That was like when LSU and Burrow played Georgia State in that opener, Georgia Southern, whichever it was in that opener, and Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns. That's what it felt like. It was incredible. Matthew Godwin, Rusty Gomez, Gulf South, what's good? Ultimate Warrior. Rob Boudreaux, is Utah any good? I think Utah's very good. They won the Pac-12 a year ago. They blew out Oregon twice. They got everybody back from that team, and I think they'll have a great chance to win the Pac-12 again this year, depending on how Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley and USC look, which, by the way, they put up 66 points yesterday. Granted, they played Rice, but, USC was struggling with everything they did prior. So, but yeah, Utah's going to have a great chance to win the Pac-12 this year. That's a really good team, warranted of its preseason ranking. Florida's just better than... let me give you something a little more concrete. Every year, Phil Steele puts out his most improved teams in college football. And I tell you all this every year, but take it to the bank. When you get the Phil Steele preview, open up to Phil's most improved teams and bet the over on those teams. It's like, it is easy money. He's... whatever his metric is, he is never wrong. Let me not say never wrong, but he hits at an exceptional rate on those most improved teams. And one of his most improved teams this year was Florida. So, Florida over their win total right now looks like a really good bet, doesn't it? So I just think Florida's better than all of what the preseason hype was around them, or lack thereof. Michael Thacker, morning Scone, my Burrow jersey came in just now for today's game. First LSU game ever for my 4-month-old son. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hope it's a great day for you and the family. Stacy Hatton, morning, Matt. Florida did look good. What was your thoughts on A&M? Okay, so Stacy, good question. I'd say the opposite of Florida was A&M. A&M did not look good, and you had better believe we are going to see Max Johnson play a lot of football this year for Texas A&M. That offense got stuck in the mud for the better part of 3 quarters against Sam Houston State. Now, I get it that it's the first game of the season and all that sort of stuff. It ended 31-0, and I will say A&M's defense was very good. And again, it was Sam Houston State, but if you're going to say, well, the defense dominated because it was Sam Houston State, then the opposite should also be true, that the offense should have dominated against Sam Houston State. So I think that you're talking about a team that's won the FCS National Championship. It's a very good program. Haynes King ended up throwing for 364, but if you watch that game, y'all, I mean, he was wildly inaccurate at points in the first half, threw 2 interceptions, and it could have been 5. I mean, it wasn't good. It was not good for the Aggies offensively. They got a lot of work to do, but defensively looked very good. Stephen Young, I expect LSU to look at least as good as Florida. Stephen, I tell you this: if LSU looks as good as Florida did last night, then I do think LSU will win this game and will probably win it easily. Florida's defense last night was the most impressive part of the game. They looked more than competent and certainly very athletic, as you would always expect from a Florida defense. And they got some veteran players like Ventrell Miller, who's been around a long time. We interviewed him at SEC Media Days the last couple of years. He's the guy. He wears 51, if you missed it, if you watch the game, he's the one who dropped the would-be game-ending interception around early in that last drive, which ended in an interception in the end zone. But Miller's the one who could have ended it with about a minute left, but just dropped it was in the passing lane and just dropped the interception. John Boudreaux, morning, early, but looks like Bama, Georgia, everyone else. Michael Griffith, Gulf South. You saw the hype video LSU dropped, narrated by Matt Flynn. I have not seen it yet. I'll need to go check it out. Ghastly Gamer, y'all ain't doing the game day show this year. No, so game day, Eagle 98.1 game day this year is Hanny and Musso. And they will be at the Burbank Rouse's for every game except this one. They will be at Rouse's on Barone in New Orleans. So T-Bob and I are doing an appearance at the Rouse's on Barone from 1 to 3. So we're going to jet down there, you do that appearance from 1 to 3, drive back, watch the game, and then get over to Don Juan. Jason McLeod, good morning from Mississippi. Austin, what's up, Austin Kidder? Good morning. Raymond, morning, Scone. Some teams look better than others, thought are overrated. Jerry Zimmerman, A&M looked weak and clumsy on offense. It was not a good offensive day for A&M. John Melanson, Hanny, and Musso were doing pregame all year. You and T-Bob are just doing whiskey and wine. Correct. Brett DeGrow, morning, Matt. I got a feeling we'll be riding the Nuss bus tonight. I got a feeling you're wrong. Wendell Norman, USMC Mike, what's up? Ultimate Warrior, Damon Gilmore, Will Burton. Matt on Twitter is hilarious stuff, shutting these idiots up. Well, the thing is, man, and I don't know. So what he's referring to, for those who maybe just jumped aboard, is what Glenn Gilbo was tweeting about Napier and LSU in Florida last night. He was just wrong. Like, Glenn's information is bad in that situation. I don't know who he's talking to, but like I'm telling you definitively, his info is bad. His info is wrong. So it's just not. If I don't ever want to be breaking news guy, y'all. I mean, I tell y'all that often. I'm not. But you're not serving your audience when you're spreading misinformation. That's what I don't like. It's just. I just thought LSU fans deserve better. That's all. That's why I piped up. Normally I wouldn't. I don't like media fighting. I think it's stupid. When media fights with other media, it's just stupid. Like it's unprofessional and dumb and pointless. Like everybody can have success and everybody can do their job well and be good at their job and all that sort of stuff. Like the people who just try to argue with other media people are just stupid. But that was one of those instances where I wasn't arguing with Glenn. I was trying to get the information correct. Anyway, Ben Boudreaux, Jason Aguilar, Patrick Fluitt, Matt, sneaky pick for the first touchdown goes to Mason Taylor. Sure, you get in a red zone situation. I could see it. I think the easy choice is Kayshon Boutte. Paul Losi, what's up? Dad Landry, morning, Matt. Hope you and your family have a blessed Sunday. What is the game day pour? Yeah, Thad, I don't know, man. Like, so I don't drink on game days. I really, until whiskey and wine. So I don't, I mean, you know, I got to drive to New Orleans, drive back. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to take notes during the game, go to Don Juan. Anyone who's ever hung out with us at Don Juan knows, I usually get there at halftime and watch the second half. And I'm just drinking water and taking my notes. So, you know, I'll have something during whiskey and wine. What it is, don't know, but we'll see. If you haven't done it, 418 watching on YouTube, that's phenomenal. 161 on Facebook. I mean, that's amazing. Over 500 concurrent viewers, which is phenomenal. If you haven't done so yet, YouTube, please smash that like button. If you're new, please subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscota page and share the post if you would. Tim Forche, thoughts on A&M, we did that. Darren Spicer. Oh, thoughts on Mississippi State, yeah. I did watch, so that game got delayed like 2 hours due to lightning. So I did watch much of the second half. I had, after the Notre Dame-Ohio State game ended, I had Mississippi State-Memphis on, and I was watching Washington, because I did make a play on Washington minus 23.5, which hit. Mississippi State, I thought looked good. That was a game, remember, a year ago where they played in the Liberty Bowl. Mississippi State lost and kind of got screwed. Like the refs screwed up the call on the punt. Hang on one second, y'all. Sorry, I'll be right back. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, it was. All right. Oh, Mississippi State. Mississippi State. Mississippi State looked good. I just don't think Memphis is very good. So, I mean, that was a game where, I mean, they lost a year ago to Memphis in the Liberty Bowl, but I'm trying to pull up the box score in that one. But they very much controlled that game and handled the weather delay pretty well. The final in that one ended up 49-23. It was 28-3 at half, and they just kind of kept rolling throughout. Will Rogers threw for 450 and 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's one where, LSU will be, host Mississippi State in 2 weeks, and you better have your defensive ducks in a row for that game, because Rogers is going to come in slinging the football, and, you better be up to the task. Quentin Brakebill, Darren Spicer, Charlie Cavell, what's going on? Josh DeVilliers, did you watch A&M and Sam Houston? I did. We talked about that a little bit. Ray Wright, $5 who missed the first field goal. I hope not, Ray. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I'm going to say the opposite, Ray. I'm going to say that Damian Ramos nails the first field goal. Absolutely smokes it. I'm going to tell you all this. Y'all are going to see this with Ramos. He's got a leg. I mean, he's got a really strong leg. When I would go watch, I try to make a point whenever we had open viewing, I would spend at least one of the periods, and we got to watch, like, when we didn't get to watch the whole practice, we had to watch the first 12 periods, and we were 5 minutes, Actually, maybe we didn't get to watch the whole. That was when we got to watch the full practice, was we could watch the first 12, we could film the first 12, and they were like 5 minutes apiece. Usually, they would come shorter times. But I'd go watch the kickers, and it was like consistent where the other kickers were, maybe middle of the net, and Ramos was top of the net. He's got a really strong leg. So if they get in a situation where they need to attempt a 50-plus, plenty of leg, that's not the issue. It's, will it go straight? Yeah, what about Southern putting up 86 to nothing? Southern won yesterday 86 to nothing. I know. Brian Broom, John David Mathern, Tony Williams. In fact, they started the other quarterback over Max. We would beat A&M, especially with their coaching staff. Tony, I'm not surprised that they started Haynes King, and it's like, here's what I would tell you. Same thing with TJ Finley at Auburn. The coaching staff was already familiar with that player, right? So the difference with LSU bringing in a transfer is, yeah, Jaden Daniels was new in the spring, but so was Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock, right? So there was no familiarity with the coach and the player here. That was already existent at A&M, where Haynes King won the job a year ago before he got hurt. TJ Finley played last year for Brian Harsin and Auburn. And then, of course, they brought in Calzada and the other kid, Ashford from Oregon. So you see my point? Like, I'm not surprised that they started Haynes King, but it didn't look good. So I also wouldn't be surprised at some point if Max Johnson ends up taking that job from him. Jeremy, thinking about taking my winnings from yesterday, putting it all on the Tigers. I would not recommend you do that just as a responsible play. I wouldn't go all in on a play. If you feel comfortable, place a bigger bet than you normally would, but I would not recommend going all in. Charlie Cavell, Richardson looked good. ATN looked good too. They did. Florida was a big takeaway yesterday, to be sure. Y'all, as always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. After Hours Clinic open, of course, you need orthopedics, go to Brock. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All this rain, you're seeing water spots, think you might have roof damage, or you're just not sure, give us a shout. I'd love to come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Just tap the Hudco link, which is pinned in the comments, and fill out the contact form on the homepage. We'll give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Alejandro Castro, let's see. Man, sorry, y'all. Lost my spot. I'm scrolling back to find it. I'm going to go a little quickly here, y'all. Got about 20 more minutes or so I can do, so if you're patient with me, I'll get to all of you here. Wow, a lot of comments. Appreciate y'all for being here. Doing my best. Wow. Oh. Wait, I already did those. Sorry. I'm just going to pick up right here. One Nardi, how do you feel about Stetson Bennett performance? He was awesome. Damon Gilmore, first thing homeboy from Notre Dame said on his show was, still can't win the big game. Was that, you talking about, what? You talking about the Irish breakdown guy, whatever? Carter Harris, good morning from Barksdale Air Force Base. Yes, sir. Thank you for your service. Merrick Bethurn, good morning. Hoping for a Tiger win on my birthday. All right, Merrick, happy birthday. Hope it's an awesome one for you. Cheers. Everyone cheers to Merrick on his birthday. Gulf South, Napier would have been a really good hire. Kelly was a better option. I'd agree with that. Joe Juba was good, my dude. Lucy B, Mark Allen. Go LSU, to hell with the rest. Kenneth Polk. Marlon Curvin. Buckner isn't that good. They have no skilled players other than Mayer. That is a problem. And look, and Michael Mayer, their tight end at Notre Dame, is fantastic, but they did lack other weapons on the outside for sure, which is one of the reasons why I really like LSU this year, because their skilled guys on the outside are going to compensate for a lot. Like, you will see situations where they'll throw a bubble screen that goes 70 yards. They'll throw a shallow cross that goes for 50. LSU's got those dudes. Joseph Fine, the third, Bama on a revenge tour. Yes, they are. We talked about that in media days. I told you the biggest takeaway. Bama was pissed and looked like they were ready to wreck stuff. And there was no real consensus on the second best team in either division.
Did we bet on that one?
Strong side. Good morning, Scone. Southern scores 86. Vandy's 2-0. College football is back. JG0740, Matt, thoughts on Florida beating the Pac-12 team? Talked about that a bit ago. I think the most impressive win of the day yesterday. T-Bob needs to wear his outfit from last night. Wizard robe, wizard hat, drinking from a hollowed horn. No, thank you. Christ almighty, T-Bob. What planet did he come from? Kerry Smith, guaranteed 2 quarterbacks play today and the rest of the way. That's the BK way. Kerry, I'll actually disagree with you. If 2 quarterbacks play, I think it's because LSU has dump trucked Florida State and they just get us in the game late. I think 2 quarterbacks play next week because they're playing Southern and they'll beat Southern handily. But I don't think they want to play 2. If they get in a situation where they have to, I think they will, but I don't think they will. Claudia, what's good? Edward O, tried to tell you about Billy in Florida. I picked them to win the game. What do you mean you tried to tell me? Ultimate Warrior, Tommy Poole, good morning, game day. Nola P, if Cincy had Ritter, they win that game. Well, I mean, come on. What do they say about ifs and buts? I mean, but they don't. Ryan W, sweet baby Jesus, time for football. Ryan W, actually, I came here for Southern coverage. All right, a couple more. Joe Giovino, Brian Kelly, old school discipline team. Watch out for the gorilla with the chainsaw. He's coming back. Ohio State room out, huge parlay. Had them minus 17. Would have won $4,200. Well, that sucks. Should have listened to me because I had Notre Dame and the points. Is Whiskey and Wine going live? You darn right we are. As soon as the game ends, T-Bob and I will be live on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. So if you haven't done so yet, you're watching on YouTube right now, go to the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, subscribe to that channel, hit the notification, hit the bell. That's where we'll be live tonight and also on the 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page. It is fair to point out with the disclaimer that Whiskey and Wine is an adult show. We are at a bar, we are drinking, and we do curse. So if cursing offends you or your family or you have kids, like I would not recommend tuning in. I think many of you know that by now. Just an FYI. Scott, did Eli Ricks hurt his draft stock by transferring to Alabama? No, he's still projected in everybody's mock draft as a first-round pick, which he will be. He had a back issue, which kept him out of most of camp, which is why he didn't start yesterday. But when he's healthy, he will be a starter. 82 Atlantic, since the last Sunday of no NFL, why aren't more college games on? It makes no sense. Since this is the last Sunday of NFL. Well, I mean, look. College football is a traditional Saturday day, which is why Ryan W. am I allowed to curse. Not here, okay? Here is Morning Scone. Morning Scone is very much a PG audience, okay? This is families. This is people waking up, having coffee with their family on a Sunday or any day. But on Whiskey and Wine, sure, say whatever you want on Whiskey and Wine. And anyway, 82 Atlantic. As far as the college games on Sunday, the benefit for LSU and Florida State is you are standalone. You're the only game in this window. But most teams play on Saturday because they want to play on Saturday. I mean, that's when they play. It's when your fans expect to play. It's when you play. Fatal Gator, good luck tonight, LSU. SEC is 14-0 and even Vandy 2-0, but no pressure. You mean 13-0, but yes, going 14-0. Let's see. Keaton, let's go. Feeling great this morning. Don't think Florida State will be running the ball today. Keaton, that's going to be the one to watch, right? If y'all are looking for things to watch in this game in particular, Florida State, their offensive coordinator is Alex Atkins, also their offensive line coach. They ran the ball so effectively last week. Can they run against LSU's defensive front? I'm going to tell you that LSU's defensive front against Florida State's offensive line, that is a massive advantage for LSU. But I think Florida State has 3 very good running backs, and can they kind of chip away? I don't believe Florida State has the athletes on the outside to make plays. My concern is when you flip it, the same is also true. LSU's offensive line against that Florida State defensive front, that is a big edge towards Florida State. So, and LSU does not have John Emery. You have basically Noah Cain, Armani Goodwin. Cain's coming off injury. Goodwin has 16 career rushing attempts. It's why I keep leaning toward Jaden Daniels, y'all. Jaden Daniels running the football and the ability to find a way to hit the big pass play, the big play in the passing game, the explosive play. I think that's what does it for LSU today. I think it may not look great throwing the football, but you're going to find the play where you hit Booty and then he takes it to 60 yards. I just think it's going to be one of those types of days. Kyle Milliken, Paul Marner, what's up, Scone? How do you think the D holds up today? I think one of my biggest takeaways from fall camp is that LSU's defense is probably maybe ahead of what I thought they'd be. We all know the defensive line is going to be really good, but I think the talent and numbers that they have at linebacker is certainly sufficient. And I like the experience they have at corner. I think safety, they're very good with Major Burns, Jay Ward, and then guys that they'll rotate in, Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks is kind of playing the nickel. And then a lot of the young guys we've talked about. I think safety, they're really good. Corner, I don't think they're athletically anything close to what they were a year ago. With Stingley, Ricks, McLaughlin, Flott, those were your first four a year ago. And this year you're looking at Jarek Bernard-Converse, Colby Richardson, Mekhi Gardner, Sevin Banks. You are nowhere near as athletically gifted with your first four this year as what you were a year ago. Not even close. But you do have a ton of experience with those guys. So, the question is, how many times will they run up against a receiving group that is just that much better than them athletically? And that's where I kind of hold my breath. But tonight ain't one of them nights, y'all. Florida State's group of receivers are not the game breakers. So I think that's an advantage for LSU. Cody Brunet, Max Johnson will be starting for A&M by Miami. Cody, if he's not starting before that game, I think probably during that game is when he takes over. One, Nardi, if LSU have a Georgia-Oregon type win against Florida State, would you change your outlook on the season? Oh, yeah, absolutely. If LSU goes out tonight and wins 49-3 and scores on its first 7 possessions, yeah, I would tell you my outlook on the season would be dramatically different. I also realize that is not realistic. Like what Georgia did last night. I saw ABC flashed a graphic. It's been like since 1976 or something like that a team, against a ranked opponent scored on like its first 6 drives or something like that. It scored touchdowns on its first 6 drives or something like that. It was crazy. Ryan W. I was trying to help, Matt. I'm sorry, man. I'm not sure what that was about. My apologies. I know that there's just a lot of comments coming and going. If you haven't done so yet, 481 on YouTube. Very, very grateful to everybody watching. I know it's game day and people are fired up. 118 on Facebook. Thanks for being there. YouTube, if you haven't done so yet, please smash that like button and subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Thank you for finding us. Just hit the red subscribe button. It's free. Set notifications. We do more in Scone every single day, so we'll be here tomorrow as well. That's not just weekdays or weekends. It's like literally every day for 1,625 consecutive days now. So y'all know we'll be here every morning. Where are we? Mark Allen, Matt, in your opinion, who's better play caller, Lane Kiffin or Lincoln Riley? Play caller, Lane Kiffin. Nick Ferrante, Noah Kane breakout incoming. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. He looked really good in camp. Physically looked good. Good to see him healthy. You know what I mean? Cole Cochran, go Noles. All right, we got a Florida State fan in here. Oregon had no chance against those tight ends. Massive mismatch. That's true. Brennan Huff, looks like Georgia and Alabama, everyone else. D's Barbecue, what's up? Yeah, how about Chris Curry still being at Utah? That is crazy. The AJ Show, what's going on? Ultimate Warrior. What do you think about A&M quarterback? Talked about that a bit ago. Steven, how many rushing yards do you see LSU having today? As a team, I'll tell you this. I think LSU's final stats tonight will look like Notre Dame's offensive stats yesterday against Ohio State. So here's a good gauge for you. Where the heck is that box? Oh, let's go look at SEC games. Hey, guy. Block out what you know about the final score from the game. This, I think you may see this. 177 passing, 76. I think they'll do a little better than that, actually. I think you'll probably see 225 in the air, 115 on the ground. Jaden Daniels, your leading rusher, with 70 yards. I think is what you'll see today. So you give me 330 of total offense, thereabouts. Between 330, 350 total offense, 225 passing, 115 rushing. Jaden Daniels, your leading rusher, with about 75 yards. That's what I would think. Jordan B, what do you think Matt defense getting turnovers today? Ask Scone. I do. Just because I've seen Jordan Travis, and I think he can be careless with the football. So, yes. Jared Guillory, what's going on? What are we saying? Come see Daddy. What's my surprise?
What are you supposed to say?
Help.
What?
Help.
No. What are you supposed to say? Say what?
What do we say?
Victory for LSU.
Victory for LSU.
Singing it.
Good job. Are we going to sing it?
Can you sing it?
Sing it.
T-R-S-T.
I G E R S
T.
T. Yes.
Good job.
Tist. Tigers. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. Okay. We're gonna work on it, bud. Good job. He did get victory for LSU.
But he was singing it cute.
Victory for LSU.
You do it.
You do it.
Victory for LSU.
Good job.